Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're actually going to go for a local distiller this time. At the time that this bottle was purchased, they were called Blind Pig. When we've last reviewed this, it was called Blind Pig. We're revisiting it just because we're revisiting flavored whiskeys, and I made the comment that so far everything tastes very sickly sweet, but that the independent distillers that make flavored whiskeys seem to do it better for some reason, and it's because they infuse it, and it's just a much better way of doing it. And so Tracy recommended that we do it, that we take up and we revisit this after trying other things. So anyways, but we got an old friend here. So why don't you reintroduce yourself?
All right, yeah, my name is Pete. I'm one of the people in the Seesaw, the Capital Scotch and Whiskey, and so I've been invited for a couple of the videos with you guys. So yeah, I'm back again.
Cool. Now, all right, so we're gonna try the peach.
We're gonna have them actually at our class at SPSCC.
It's got a good smell to it.
Business of whiskey.
Definitely got a good smell to it. Although I don't think this is technically whiskey, this is more of a shine, is it not?
Yeah, it is more. It is more of a moonshine. It's because it's really they don't really age it as much. When we were there a couple days ago, we were talking to them about their processes and stuff like that. So they're not aging it as much, and when they're infusing it, they're actually infusing it in their distillation process versus some of the other flavored whiskeys out there, which are just kind of like an afterthought where they mix it like a liqueur.
Which is why it doesn't taste as sickly sweet, probably.
Right. And it's got, if you taste this versus some of the other flavored stuff out there, it's got a more drier finish to it. And that just shows that it's not as sweet as some of the other ones where they're not infusing it with a lot of sugar and sweeteners. It's more or less just the flavoring that they're infusing it with.
Yeah. Now, I'm a bigger fan of their apple shine than I am their peach. I'm never a big fan of peach, but already I can tell you, even though I'm not a fan of peach, this to me is more pleasant. It's flavored, but it just doesn't have that sickly sweet. Like he was saying, it doesn't have the added sugars. It wasn't done as an afterthought. Like you were saying, I think that they do it with a white, what's called a white dog, as opposed to having any kind of aged whiskey, though.
Yeah, and so they make one of their products is a moonshine. It's just a straight up moonshine, and I think what they do is they do the same process as they use for the moonshine, but they're infusing it.
So this is a whiskey, but it's kind of a borderline whiskey. But what's your thoughts?
Well, first off, when they say peach pie shine, they're not joking when they say about peach pie. This tastes just like a peach pie with some alcohol in it. This is absolutely delicious. I've never had Blind Pig before, or Shoebox in this case. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I tried this. This is really good stuff.
Cool. Now, so the challenge of Tracy from Seesaw is to come up with notes other than the obvious. What do you have any notes you could give this other than the obvious?
So what I always like to do is I like to focus on the mouthfeel myself. So I don't like something that's really thick and heavy, or I don't really care for things that are too light. So this has a pretty medium-bodied, it's a well-balanced mouthfeel to it. As far as like the alcohol to a flavor ratio, I don't get a lot of burn from this, so it's not. I don't feel like it's not flavored enough. I think there's a good balance on the flavoring to how much alcohol content there is in this. I'm not sure exactly of the content, but you can tell that it's not a burn, so it's something that you could sip on. Me personally, I don't think I would sit down with a glass of this and sip on it. I don't think I would enjoy this with a meal either. This would be something more that I would mix. Something that I would think about is mixing it with like orange juice and making something like a fuzzy navel with it. Something like that, where it would be a nice summer drink, something to mix with, so I get something with that peach flavoring and something a little bit more refreshing as well.
So if you have a barbecue and you have some friends over that are a little afraid to drink whiskey straight or neat, maybe you won't enjoy a good fine 20-year bourbon or Scotch, and you want to give them something that's maybe a little bit more. This would be something you would do a mixed drink with. I really can't think of any notes. I'm deer in headlights when it comes to thinking of notes other than the obvious. Do you have any?
To tell you the truth, the peach really kind of really overpowers on most things to me. Although the notes, for me, it's like when it comes to almost the finish and kind of the body of it, it's got a little bit of a sharp kick to it, a little bit of a spice to it. Although
For flavored whiskey.
yes,
I mean, the kick and the bite are not anywhere near what you would get with something either neat or on ice.
No, absolutely not. But at the same time, the kick and that sharpness, for it being what it is actually quite impressive. There's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. I think it's actually really good.
Yeah. So I'd say out of all the ones that we've tried this month, I say that Shoebox, formerly Blind Pig, I'd say they do it better. There is a difference when you go for a more craft distillery. They're going to probably have some special little thing that they do that's different than your bigger brands, and Shoebox does that. They do things a little different, and that difference shows, that craft shows. So if you're going to do flavored whiskeys, definitely try and find a craft distillery, because they do it better. So do you have any last words before we close out?
Yeah, just I guess a small plug for the Shoebox. They also have a apple pie infused, and they also have one that they call Tropical, which I believe is like I want to say it's like a mango and something else, which is it's also a very good whiskey.
I think we do need to warn that the apple shine is very dangerous. It goes down way easier than you really want it to. You will find it's dessert, and it's a very delicious dessert. Their apple shine is dangerously good. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the peach, but yet I still found this better. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Before we close out, as always, I'd like to remind you guys to help the show out. Try Freshly by following the links down below. The link down below, nerdsdrinkwhiskey.com/freshly. If you have to go to work or you have to travel somewhere and bring a meal that is only going to take like 3 minutes in the microwave, try Freshly. It's real food as opposed to all the other brands of frozen meals you could take. This is good food. This is about the quality of like a visit to Applebee's or Outback or Olive Garden, but it's in a travel meal. So make sure and bring a knife and fork, because it's real meat, it's real food, and it's really delicious. They know how to season like nobody else. So try Freshly at the links below, help out the show, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey.